Yo, what's up YouTube? It's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and I am back with another video. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but last night was the NBA Draft Lottery. And for people out there who don't know, it was a doozy. Some teams moved up, some teams moved down. And just to give a quick recap of exactly all what happened, here are the selections in order from 14 to number 1. However, like I said in my last video, the Philadelphia 76ers had the right to swap their pick with the Sacramento Kings, so they obviously exercised that right, and now the Sacramento Kings have the 5th spot, where the Philadelphia 76ers have the 3rd spot. So now that everybody is caught up, what I decided to do was give a little bit of insight and explanation to what exactly this means for all of these teams, and I thought the best way to do that was make a winners and losers video. So if you enjoy the video, make sure you hit a thumbs up. Also, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below if you feel like I missed anything at all. And finally, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be updated on all the latest and greatest NBA content on YouTube. But with all that being said, let's start off with the losers. Now, the first team that took a massive L in the NBA lottery was the Orlando Magic. Now, the Magic is a team that obviously is trying to hit that restart button. They have desperately been looking for that new star since they lost Dwight Howard several years ago, and unfortunately, nothing has really panned out. The first L that they took is once the Sacramento Kings moved up in the draft. Like I stated in my last video, when a team moves up in the draft, that means all the teams ahead of them potentially will be moved down, and that's exactly what happened to the Orlando Magic. When the Sacramento Kings moved up to a top 3 pick, the Orlando Magic, along with the Knicks and the Timberwolves, moved down a selection, which meant that the Orlando Magic no longer were going to have a top 5 pick. Instead, they were going to be picking at the 6th spot. Another massive L that this team took was with the Lakers pick. Now, I know a lot of people understand that the Lakers pick potentially could have gone to the Philadelphia 76ers if it didn't fall within the top 3. However, what most people are not aware of, the Orlando Magic also were having their fingers crossed and hoping that the Los Angeles Lakers did not fall in the top 3. Because if the Los Angeles Lakers fell 4th or worse in the NBA lottery, then the 2019 Los Angeles Lakers pick would have gone to the Orlando Magic. However, the Los Angeles Lakers pick stayed in the top 3, which meant that the Orlando Magic went from potentially receiving a 1st round pick from the Los Angeles Lakers in 2019 to a couple of 2nd round picks. The next team that took a massive L was the Phoenix Suns. Man, was it hard to watch the lottery if you are a Phoenix Suns fan. The Phoenix Suns are a team that have a couple of good pieces on their roster. However, regardless of the numbers that they put up, it really doesn't translate into wins, which is why the Phoenix Suns found themselves in a situation to where they were projected to get the number 2 pick. But unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns and the fan base, that didn't happen at all. So when the Sacramento Kings pick, which was projected at number 8, went all the way up to top 3, a lot of people just assumed, because if you look at the odds, the Los Angeles Lakers pick was going to fall out of the top 3 and the Phoenix Suns were going to be able to keep at least a top 3 pick because the odds favored them. However, the Sacramento Kings actually took out the Phoenix Suns pick, not the Los Angeles Lakers, leaving them at the 4th selection, which is a massive loss. Because every real basketball fan knows the biggest secret that nobody really wanted to talk about was the potential that Lonzo Ball and Devin Booker were going to be on the same team with one another. However, at this point, with the Phoenix Suns being pushed all the way down to number 4, even though it isn't a massive step back, it's a big enough gap between players such as Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball to where we are basically projecting that the Phoenix Suns won't be able to get a star point guard in this lottery. And finally, the biggest L of them all, the biggest L, has to go to the Brooklyn Nets. I think we all are aware what's going on. The Brooklyn Nets forfeited every right that they have in the draft for the next upcoming seasons to the Boston Celtics, because for whatever reason, the Brooklyn Nets decided that aging stars such as Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry was well worth the decision of giving up multiple draft picks without receiving any favorable pick in the NBA draft. the Brooklyn Nets get the biggest L. Not just this year, but the same thing will potentially happen next year as well, because Boston has their pick in 2018 also. So just get them L's ready for the Brooklyn Nets next year, because it's inevitable. Also, before I move on to the winners, a low-key L goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. When the Sacramento Kings moved from the projected 8th spot all the way to a top 3, they were one of the teams that also slid down. But also, my man Andrew Wiggins, you are not Kawhi Leonard, you are not Kendrick Lamar. Cut them cornrows out your head right now. So let's get a low-key L to my man Andrew Wiggins and the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. But let's go ahead and go on to the winners. Now, the first W I want to give to the Philadelphia 76ers and the Sacramento Kings. Both of these teams end up with higher picks than they were projected originally, so that is fantastic. The 76ers got the 3rd pick, while the Sacramento Kings got the 5th pick. When it comes to the Sacramento Kings, this was a team that potentially could have lost both of their picks. If their pick fell out the top 10 range, it would have went to Chicago, and if the Pelicans pick was the top 3, then the Pelicans actually would have kept their pick. But neither one of those scenarios happened, so they do get to keep both of their picks. And crazy enough, their original pick was shot up to the 3rd selection. However, they did have to move down to the 5th spot because, like I stated before, they gave the Philadelphia 76ers the right to exercise a swap, which they did. However, if you're the Sacramento Kings, you'll take that little small L, because at this point, you're just trying to rebuild. You'll take the good with the bad. This is a team that went into the lottery not knowing if they're going to keep both of their top 10 picks, and they exit the lottery keeping both of their top 10 picks, one of which is a top 5 pick. So shout out to the Sacramento Kings. Then you have the 76ers. The 76ers were crossing their fingers, hoping that the Los Angeles Lakers pick fell out of the top 3. However, it didn't. But don't you dare worry, Philadelphia 76ers fan. Trust that process, because next year you will get the Los Angeles Lakers 1st round pick. You don't have to worry if it's top 3 or top 1 protected anymore. You will outright get that pick. Also, like I just stated earlier, because Sam Hinkie came in clutch yet again, even though he's not the GM for the team anymore, trusting the process allowed you all to swap your pick with the Sacramento Kings, which propelled the Philadelphia 76ers to a top 3 pick. So shout out to both the 76ers and the Sacramento Kings. Moving on to the next team, you have the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, boy, did they dodge a bullet on this one. Like I've been stating throughout this entire video and in my last video, make sure you go check that out. The Los Angeles Lakers, if their pick fell out of the top 3, then this year's pick would have went to the Philadelphia 76ers, and the 2019 pick would have went to the Orlando Magic. Neither one of those are happening, so that is fantastic. But not only that, they were projected to get the 3rd pick before the lottery started. They move up to the 2nd pick, which is also a great move. I don't know how Magic Johnson does it, but hey man, whatever you're doing, I don't care if you're paying Adam Silver or what, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing your thing, Magic Johnson. And this is great for the organization, because everybody is expecting them to draft Lonzo Ball, which is the player that I think everybody, from the fan base to other teams who even hate on the Lakers, and of course even teammates and coaches and executives for the Los Angeles Lakers, they want to draft Lonzo Ball because they do believe that's probably the best fit for the team. So that's great as well. And obviously the #1 winner of the lottery this year has to be the Boston Celtics. Like I stated earlier, they finagled, they finessed, they took advantage of the Brooklyn Nets several years ago, and now it's starting to pay off. Because of this pick going to the Boston Celtics, a team that's actually in the conference finals right now as we speak, the Boston Celtics have a lot of options that they can explore in the next upcoming months. For one, you can start the rebuilding process, especially if you don't believe this team is good enough to compete in the East, let alone beat the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Or you can kind of go all in and then trade the pick and basically call whoever you want. There is not a team in the NBA outside of Cleveland and the Golden State Warriors who would not pick up the phone if the Boston Celtics call in the next upcoming offseason. That goes for Indiana with Paul George. That goes to Chicago trying to trade Jimmy Butler. That goes for the New Orleans Pelicans with Anthony Davis. So in the next upcoming months, make sure you keep your ear out for every trade rumor, especially when free agency rolls around. But with all that being said though, make sure you follow this channel, because if the Boston Celtics happen to do anything, Trust me when I say I will be one of the first videos on YouTube, so you want to be updated on that. Make sure you hit the like button. Also leave a comment in the comment section below if you feel like I missed anything. And also I will put a poll in this video. You tell me, who do you think was the biggest winner and who do you think was the biggest loser? But with that being said, I will see you all later. Peace.